All right, y'all, we're going to take a look at this Boudoir photography biz. We're actually going to check out, see if it's local and city, combined local city search here, has BSS, yes or no. So we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining Boudoir photographers to the #1 Boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that pinned video, pinned post, home video, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph down below here in white. Got our highest intent peeps. Over on the left is a peep searching for, boudoir photo shoot in my city, and they're searching that today, things like that. And so people the easiest convert, closest to the money, and we make a video. The videos we make are about BSS, kind of first getting found by these peeps. And over on the right, we got our lowest intent peeps. So we talk about over with our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We're talking about BLCS, and right now we're currently only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots means we're dying pretty fast because that means we're on page 2 or deeper if we got 0 slots page 1. And we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So approximately 80% of Google searches are page 1 and done searches. And that means we're invisible to approximately 80% of the market if we're on page 2 or deeper. And that means our business will be down pretty fast. Also, 1 slot on page 1, that ain't good enough anymore because every other boudoir photographer on page 1 is basically going to have 1 slot. And there's 10 organic slots. So if we got 1, there's going to be 9 other boudoir photographers there. We're not sending it out. We're not looking special. We're not looking differentiated. And as a result, boudoir photographers actually, or boudoir buyers, they're just going to click to all 10 people's website, opens everyone's website, submit a contact form for everyone, get a quote from everyone. And as a result, everyone's going to get price shopped, compared to death, price shopped to death. We have no pricing leverage, pricing power, just because there's so many options. And this is what approximately 80% of buyers do. The other, they're just page 1 only. So, we really only got to worry about the peeps on page 1 for approximately 80% of buyers. Now, 0 1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. So it's not normal to have such a small number of slots page 1 Google search as a boudoir photography business owner. It's common, it's accepted, but it's not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are 1, market saturation, and 2, the false belief of page 1 equality. Now, with market saturation, what actually happens is the kind of over time, more boudoir photographers enter the market. Normally it's because people upgrade their gear, they get a new iPhone, an awesome camera, or new camera itself. They just decide I'm gonna throw up a Google My Business profile saying they shoot boudoir now, or they get a website created, say they're now a boudoir photographer, or they're posting the mom groups on Facebook saying they now for boudoir photo shoots. So it's more boudoir photographers in the market competing for the same number of buyers, and as a result, we actually run out. We basically kind of get out competed. It's just harder for every other boudoir photographer that's in the market. Now, there's 2 deeper root causes. The first one, market saturation. Yeah, I did that. But the most important one is this new one, the false belief of page 1 equality. So this is something boudoir photographers kind of auto-accepted, haven't really thought about. But many have felt that every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slot page 1 on Google. And as a result, maybe their website was, page 1 slot 7. And some new boudoir photographers entered the market, and then their link, their boudoir photographer basically link got pushed down to page 2 slot 2. So they're saying man, I help those people delete their websites, and Google brings me back up onto page 1. But this is 100% the wrong mentality. Google actually allow us and wants us to take as many page 1 slots on Google as possible as we're willing to put in the effort to take and acquire. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in only 10 days. So I know Google literally will give us as many slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire, which means the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. So yeah, when you only got 0 1 slots page 1 Google, disappearing boudoir photographer, because if we got 0 slots page 1, we're on page 2 or deeper, we're invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. If we got one slot page one, we're still basically invisible because we got one slot, same as the other 9 competitors on the page. So yeah, we're getting form fills, but probably 10% or less of those are converting. And this is kind of the disappearing boudoir photographers, kind of the warning sign, the warning symbol, the canary in the coal mine, saying that now our boudoir photography business itself is on the path to, is actually on the path to disappearing. But thankfully, we have discovered a solution. We've discovered that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And I mean, it works exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, so we show up there in as many placements as possible. And this is kind of like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains down in South America. The snow on the east side, the back side of those mountains. So what happens to that snow is it, it melts into small streams, flows into small streams and then small rivers, and eventually all the melted snow collects into the large Amazon River. And that large Amazon River, that's page 1 on Google search. So we got to get the snow up top first, top of the mountain, so it can melt and come down, and that is S-cube methodology, is getting that snow up there. Everything flows from S-cube methodology. And what's interesting is this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can enable boudoir photography business to still have a chance to grow, even in an ever-saturating, boudoir photography marketplace in a relatively quick, and give that opportunity in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution that gives that same benefit of enabling business to grow in a saturated marketplace that I've seen that is as strong as S-cube methodologies is having a large, well-known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 8, for like 5 to 10 years. That is, that's way longer than our, S-cube methodology to kind of get that power to grow. And dude, we ain't got 5 to 10 years anymore. No, dude, AI is here. We do not have 5 to 10 years to wait anymore. We need to be building momentum now. And interesting, one of my estimates is that using S-cube methodology, my estimate is it'll actually enable boudoir photographers to, basically acquire and have a large, well-known brand in their area, approximately 8x faster than normal methods. It's because, we're being seen way more, higher volume, higher frequency, and more surfaces, more touch points. And so that's kind of my own estimate. And an example here, S-cube methodology, we are going to LA. Let's say we're in LA and there are 1 million boudoir photographers there. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir. And so, over a million websites trying to rank page 1 Google search, ultra competitive. And we ain't got no large, well-known brand. So we've decided, man, our only hope here is S-cubed methodology. So we fire it up and we crank it to the max. So let's say we crank it to the max and we take literally the first 300 slots across all the social searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And then we also take the, let's say those flow onto Google search at and we take the first 300 slots Google search. Well, 10 Google slots per page. So we're taking out literally the first 30 pages on Google. And so when a boudoir buyer searches for anything related to, high intent with boudoir in our city, we're basically the only one that comes up when they search on social, when they search on Google. So if, they got to go to slot basically 301 to find any of our competitors. So if that's the case, what is the, whose business will most likely be growing in this situation? Probably ours, utilizing S-cube methodology. Whose businesses will likely be failing? Slowing down, disappearing, failing, going invisible. Most likely the other 999,999 other boudoir photography competitors in our city, because we're basically the only one buyers can find. So this is kind of a, kind of the most extreme example of what S-cube methodology could enable for a boudoir photography business. Now, once you're with S-cube methodology, we now have page 1 visibility, P1V. And yeah, initial benefit, we get more slots page 1 on Google, cool. And every new slot we get page 1 on Google, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible. And when we make them invisible, they're page 2 or deeper, invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. That means we can basically control, through our effort, how many of our competitors would kick off, make them disappear in boudoir photographers, and make their boudoir photography business, be on the path to disappearing. So a lot of boudoir photographers actually like this initial benefit. And page 1 visibility actually is boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. So this is where the GBC universe recommends having a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search. Because when we have these, basically everyone else can have 1 slot. all the other competitors. So we're going to be dominating them with our 3 slots. And the ultra rare scenario where someone has 2 slots, well, we got 3 slots, we're still dominating them. So allows us to dominate in basically all scenarios. And finally, we know that Boudoir photographer with BSV, Boudoir search visibility, is a visible Boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our micro universe here. A disappearing Boudoir photographer with Boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. We now have the solution, S cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible Boudoir photographer with Boudoir search visibility. All right, now my results utilizing S cubed methodology. So I wanted to dominate page one for this keyword, BLCS Boudoir. So I strictly use S cubed methodology. That's my results. Got organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I actually I was able to go from 0 out of 10 slots page one Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page one Google search in only 10 days, purely by utilizing S cubed methodology. Now, main event here, we're going to check out this Boudoir photography business, going to check out their local and city search. Looks like we got them combined here. Their local and city search, and see if they got BSS, yes or no. So we're going to Kalamazoo, Michigan. All right, so we're over here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Let's see what we got. Kalamazoo. All right, boom, we got one. All right, we got 2. All right, so we got. All right, so for local / city search combined, we got 2 out of 10 page one slots in Google. So do not have BSS, but we are not meeting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one Google search. And so these are the results that we see. All right, so if you're a disappearing Boudoir photographer, because you've done your local search for the highest intent keywords that Boudoir buyers are searching for in your local area, and then in your city area, and either you had BSS for one of them or both of them, or you did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for one of them or both of them, then, well, and you see, finally there's a solution here, S-cubed methodology. Like, yes, finally, this is what I've been waiting for. And you're able to see that because you've accepted that the false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief. We're not just subject to the whims of Google search. Google actually allows us to go and take as many page one slots as we want, as we'll put in the effort for. So you realize that's a false belief, to just kind of let it be, and we can go grab and take as much as we want. And you also send the 2 prongs of market saturation. More Boudoir photographers every week. Someone's getting a new phone, someone getting a new camera. You like the initial benefits, more slots on page one, and especially kicking your competitors off page one, making them disappear. And so you're liking dominating page one and preventing current Boudoir photographers from getting in, or ranking on page one, or essentially ever being seen by the approximately 80% bulk of the Google searchers, the market. And you're actually thinking ahead, and you're saying AI, okay, it's taking more and more people's jobs every single day. Last time that happened, COVID, more people were forced to become boudoir photographers to earn money. So like, all right, I already know what over and above more people buying new iPhones, getting new cameras, more people getting new being forced to become boudoir photographers, but they already have the device in their hands already. And so you want to fortify your position. You see S-Cube's methodology is the perfect way to do that. And you also like the extra backend benefits that you can see with, using the solution, which is for every day we execute on S-Cube methodology correctly, we actually increase the probability of getting recommended here, top primary placement, the best slot, AI overview. And when we get this premium placement, people are getting, it's kind of like a Google best recommended badge, hidden, but kind of implicitly in the buyer's, in the buyer subconscious. And also, every day we do S-Cube methodology correctly, we're basically building up these invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of like columns or spokes out from the hub of our brand, our business name. And that's what AI uses for the AI overview. And also, as we build up these invisible thematic keyword columns, we are increasing the probability that we, AI search recommends us for an AI search query. That's ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, and also Google Gemini. So these are kind of future benefits of executing SQL methodology correct today, day after day after day. Other future benefit obviously helps us build a brand faster since we're everywhere at once, way faster, about 4 times faster than normal. Actually, it could be 6, 7, 8 times faster than normal actually. So also building the brand faster, and you've decided you're going to be a first first person mover of your city using SQ methodology because, well, you heard that my current plan right now is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. So you want to hop on that. You decide you're going to hop on that to kick out all your competitors and actually get these initial benefits. More slots page one, kicking more people off page one, fortifying your page one for new boudoir photographers when AI is taking people's jobs, building up AI overview probability, AI search recommendation probability. Because, dude, I remember when I searched for boudoir photographers in the city, ChatGPT, last time I did it, dude, it recommended 3. And I went there manually, searched with Google, went through all the list, there was like 60. And so we really got to win Google AI search because it's increasing every single year. I haven't used standard Google search for things in like a year. Or AI search is increasing every single day. I mean, I've used the AI mode on Google a lot. Give me the summary. I don't want to read nothing. And so increased probability AI overview placement, increased probability AI search placement, approximately 8 times faster to create a brand because of all these other initial benefits. So imagine you got a winning brand and you're still using SQ methodology. And everyday user making bigger and bigger strides against your current competitors in the city because they ain't working with me. That's the plan right now. And you also see conversely, if your competitor works with me first, then and you get shut out, you lose all these initial benefits, you lose all the fortification benefits, you lose the future benefits, AI overview, higher probability recommended AI search, building a brand approximately 8 times faster. And you actually first need to rederive or derive for the first time S-cubed methodology for yourself, and then you need to go execute it. And you're never going to be 100% confident executing it because you're never going to know if you've derived it or rederived it correctly. But let's say you're equaling our output, but me and your competitor have already been working together a bunch, so we have a massive gap between us already. So even if you equal our output, you're guaranteed to just keep the gap the same size between your competitor and your city that's working with me and you. So you need to actually double or triple our output to kind of pull those invisible thematic keyword column momentum away from the AI kind of brain overview from your competitor over towards yourself. And it's like, dude, who's got the 80 hours? You need like 80 hours a day. You need like 80 hours a day to do that. So you decide, screw that. You decide you're gonna be the first mover of your city hopping on this, because you don't want to deal with not getting these benefits and your competitor getting them instead of you. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. When basically when my DM's open, my DMs are currently closed. Hospital is currently closed for new patients. But when the hospital opens for new patients, shoot me a DM and we'll see if you qualify to use our S-cubed methodology.